Morning. Okie dokie. Hello. Welcome to this day in the life, which I have started filming after my day started because I have a new morning routine. Oh my god, the yolk is so runny. So I wake up at 5, I kind of chill, have a little bit of a small breakfast closer to the time I leave to go to the gym, and then I come back and I make myself a savoury breakfast, which is new. I'm very much a sweet breakfast person, but I'm just trying savoury out because I think I'm overdoing the sugar thing. I'm 26, should I really be eating this much sweetness? I made some breakfast, I wrote my to-do list for the day. So it is about 8:30 right now. I got back from the gym at about 8:15 and just cooked this up. It was actually really quick to cook up, and I'm gonna shower, do my to-do list. And today's quite an exciting day because I am spending my lunchtime doing like a virtual cookalong class, and we're making toshikoshi soba, which I don't have the ingredients for yet, so I have to run out and get some really quick. Today is going to be quite nice because I've got a couple of tickets that I'm working on, and I can kind of explain what I'm doing as a BA, a business analyst, who's relatively new to the role, but also is working in a really technical team. I have picked up quite a few things that I want to talk to you guys about that you can hopefully use if you're also a BA, or if you also want to know how I'm working in quite a technical environment with no strict tech experience.
This morning we finally finished with the
You caught me mid munch. I put chocolate chips in the yogurt as well, so I've got one stuck in my tooth right now. There you go, too much information. A drink I'm craving is probably between a coffee and also a beer. And as for yesterday's work, yeah, and I also have to stress about which social game to pick, so yeah, lots to do today. Great. Hello friends, it's about 10 o'clock now, and I just finished my stand-up for the day, which ran on a little bit because we went over a couple of tickets that have had some blockers and issues to do with them that, are dependent on other teams communicating with us. So we ended up actually adding a couple more tickets to the board, and then also creating a little swim lane at the top of the board for all blockers or blocked tickets to be moved up into, so that when you look at the board, that it's very clear what people are working on at what time. This is something I've learned in the last 2 weeks, that if something is not in the backlog of tickets on Jira or Jira, that ticket is something that one person is working on. So if there are 8 tickets on the board, there should ideally be 8 people each working on a ticket. It's not the case for me right now because I'm working on a bunch of tickets, but doing the same thing to all of them. But also, something else I've learned this week is that the max amount of tickets in a column, there is a cap for it, because that's just not efficient to have loads of tickets that one person is doing, because then they'll all progress at the same time. There won't be enough people to work on them when they move along, because it's all moving in one bunch. So it's better to work one by one so that there's always time and space for someone to work on something at all time, and there's no dead time for anyone on the team. But so far I have really been enjoying this new environment. It's so different, and it's definitely because my team lead is really passionate about, and she even said it, she was like, I don't want anyone on my team to be freaking out about work on a Sunday night, because I think we've all been there and it's not a feeling that we want to continue, and it's just really nice to see someone actively every day. She is making sure that everyone's happy and that no one has Sunday night scaries, or even, weekday scaries, and that your work isn't your identity and your job. I think it's a great way to lead, to be honest. I don't want this vlog to just be me being like, oh my god, I love it. But also, I do. So I actually also want to talk about the actual analysis work I'm doing on the tickets, because this is not something I thought I'd be doing this early on. Purely because this team, as I mentioned at the beginning of the vlog, this team is super technical. Something I can't even put into words, that's how technical it is. And I am doing the business analysis on the Jira tickets for developers to then use to build elements of code or infrastructure to end up building this big thing. I am working a lot with lots of different developers and solution architects and technical leads across the project to make sure I have a really good detail level understanding and importantly high level understanding of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So this is something that I really have to zone in on, because the why is not technical at all. Like, the technical is the how we're doing it, but the why really helps with the business analysis, because when you think about the why, it forces you to think about the end user or the person who's going to be using this technical capability and why it's going to make their life easier, because that's the reason why we're building it, right? We're trying to add value in some way to whatever exists already or doesn't exist. So when you think about the why, you end up figuring out how to write the acceptance criteria and the user story. So the user story is focusing on that why and that endpoint, but the acceptance criteria is for the testers who will check, the actual functionality of the code and whether it's going to do its job and do its job only, or have any consequences to the user, the end user, that we don't want, or check if we want them. So when you're having to think about these two different perspectives, you're having to write the description of the ticket or the content of the ticket. It also has to make sense in both the acceptance criteria context and also the user story context. Doing that, you need to have a really good high level understanding of what you're doing, and you don't necessarily need to be lost in the details, but I personally think that knowing the details gives you that high level understanding. And then working as a business analyst, it's a skill to try and go from detail to high level, but also explain that high level to developers and coders, but also someone from the client, but also, someone who's maybe not involved in the nitty-gritty of the project. That's something that I've really learned this week and kind of got a good grasp on, and that is the bulk of what I'm doing all the time. My ingredients. Actually, the only thing I really don't want to do is drive. Just let my team know that I am getting some last minute ingredients. Let's go. Successful shot. Yep, definitely need to get a car tripod. I just did the perfect reverse park, if I do say so myself. It's definitely my favorite car move of all the things. The one thing I hate is a corner reverse. Do you remember having to do that in your test? Thankfully didn't have to do that. Nice little reverse parky park. Also, what a lovely, lovely, lovely day it is. Look at that. Trying to just get the ingredients up. So just had my Toshikoshi soba. So every 2 weeks on my team, is it every 2 weeks or every week? Oh, it's every week. I missed last week's. So every week there's a half an hour social on my team, which I think is really sweet. Because it's just half an hour where, there's no work questions. And I'm hosting it today, so I need to find a fun game to play. Also just realised I forgot to take my vitamins. So I picked this online game, Dictionary Chinese Whispers almost. It's really fun.
No, I am ashamed.
What I'm doing in this 2.5 hour long sprint, my eyes are getting, it's a little bit dry. What I've been spending this week doing is gathering all this information in terms of specific coding attributes that the developers on my team would need when they're building this this element that we're building. So I'm speaking to various people across the wider team who know exactly what attributes to put into this code. I can't be too specific here because project confidentiality as well, but I'm trying to give you like high level detail. So I'm speaking to the wider team to understand, you know, what exactly the devs would need. And then I've got this huge list of attributes that I needed to use, you know, Excel formulas to combine to make a unique attribute. So once I've got this mega huge database of attributes, basically, I can now split it in terms of what each ticket requires. I can lay it out and make it super clear, you know, what the attributes are. First of all, that's what the ticket's for, why the attributes are important, what the attributes are going to let us do, and like I was speaking about earlier in the vlog, how us needing the attribute and getting the right one, how is it actually going to benefit the person who's going to use the product that we're building, like the end product, the final product. So what I'm doing right now is basically splitting out my Excel formulas into mini Excel reports for each of the attributes, and then just writing up each of the tickets and attaching them and then having them proofread. Our team works on a Kanban board basis, and we also have kind of like a peer review system for making sure tickets are making sense from, you know, all perspectives, from business analyst perspectives, from testers perspectives, and devs perspectives. So I am preparing the tickets to be peer reviewed by my team. I also quickly wanted to chat about, you know, how I'm actually trying to add value as a completely new person to this team. And I think the best thing you can do if you're in a similar position to me, and the best thing that I think I'm trying to do, which is adding value based on feedback that I've received from people I work with, is to, you know, make sure that everyone can lean on me if they need to, in terms of, you know, actually do they feel like they can approach me, and also do I know enough about everyone's specific role on the team and what they're doing on a daily basis, even maybe a couple times a day. Like, do I know what they're doing so that if they dropped off the face of the earth tomorrow, I knew where the project was and I knew what their blockers were and things like that. So a little bit project management-y, but also there's a lot of business analysis work to do, like I mentioned earlier in the video. So adding value early on is just making sure that you're a reliable member of the team and that progress can still be made if someone wasn't there. I think I'm just hitting like a bit of a 3 p.m. slump. Oh my god, it's actually 3 p.m. on the dot as well. Can't really see that. Okay, so I just finished some dinner and now I'm gonna edit and script for some YouTube, and I just hit 10k steps, so I'm pretty much not gonna leave for the rest of the evening. That's right, I'm not asleep. Yeah, she's gonna fall asleep. She's so tired all the time. Yeah, well, it's 9:30 and I'd be awake. In all seriousness though, I really don't even think I have it in me to read. Usually I've been doing 10 pages a night, which is why I'm still on The Night Thief, which I got on the Kindle. Literally my eyes, like every time I blink, my eyes are like, yeah, just stay closed. And I'm like, I'm having so many issues getting my YouTube video up. Final Cut Pro decided to expire just as I was exporting it, and I can't re-download it because my internet is just going so slow. So I've just been making thumbnails for next week's video and the week after that.
I am behind.
My skincare is on. I literally feel drunk. That's how tired I feel. I'm a loser now. My day has been so nice. I mean, if you told me this time last year that in a year's time I would have work-life balance, I would really enjoy like what I'm doing during the day. I'd have time to like do YouTube and social media stuff for 3 to 4 hours after work, 3 hours before work. That's almost 8 hours. That's almost like a working day that I've just gained from having a bit more balance in my life. Anyone who's struggling through busy season right now and knows that audit isn't for them, there is definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, and your busy seasons and your audit career is not the be all end all. So on that very, very wholesome note, I'm gonna say goodnight before I literally pass out. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I'll be doing loads more because my day-to-day responsibilities and stuff change all the time. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.